You are live. It's long. One more place. I can't tell. Am I live? Pressing the button. Checking connection. It's long. Blocked. Wow. I'm blocked on Instagram, y'all. I must be doing something right. I ain't even do. I must be blocked. Temporarily blocked. Ooh, I want a screenshot of this. Give me a second. Give me just a second. I don't know why. I really don't care why because it's kind of funny. I was like, I'm gonna stop using Instagram because first of all, it's whack, and it never lets me download the videos. I'm not gonna go in because it ain't worth bad mouthing them. I don't really care because it's like, wow, thank you for confirming that I didn't want to do that. It's like, well, I'm on the fence, but thank you for just knocking me right off that mug. I appreciate that. Um, so let me share that. Let me tell the good news to everybody so that they can hop over on YouTube if they want to join. So if y'all would indulge me for just a minute, and Allah willing, this is picking up too. Either way, I'm here. I did what I was supposed to do. I showed up. It's day 37, but this is for day 36. All right. Okay. So let me just share this. All right. Sharing this, letting everybody know I must be doing something right. I must be doing something right on YouTube anyway. One more. On YouTube anyway. Anyway, so back to what I was doing. All right. So that's cool. Bet they not getting another ad dollar from me. Screw y'all. I don't know what I could have. I'm not going to even think about what I could have said because whatever. It's probably some people that I said something about some people that were true and whatever. Called a hole, and that's what happened. All right. Anyway, Islam. We are here. Now I can get rid of this thing. Yay. Because that one was a hassle for real. I can focus on one screen. And I think I'm going to go on stereo because I haven't used it in a while. Thank you all for whoever's here. Or I'm just recording right now. Oh, somebody here. All right, Islam. I'm going to go on stereo. If I actually have it on. Oh, there we go. I'm just going to go on stereo. So then at least I have a voice recording. So there we go. Let's talk. Start talking. Day 37, 36/37. Y'all watching me work. Peace and love. Of hashtag 77 days. Might have to edit this out. Of hashtag elevation. I already know what's going on too. We're approaching a Mercury retrograde in Venus. It's Mercury. Checking my chart. And this chart, for those who are interested, is even though the moon is over here, this is Aquarius. You would think it would be over here. This is my chart. All right. It's set for me. And I suggest everybody get something like that. I'll make one for you. I made this one. And I got a cricket right here so I can make it better than this one. This one's my hand. But anyway, so oh, is it in Virgo? It's already in Virgo. Mercury is already in Virgo. It's going to go retrograde in Virgo. And I'm a Gemini, so Virgo is one of my ruling planets. So I'm already feeling the effects of it. Let's add this to it. But it's cool because I think since it's in my house of hidden enemies, Virgo is my 12th house. I think I've said it before because of how myself Islam to you too, Gianna James. I think I've mentioned it before how my 12th house has a pit in it because Pluto is there. So when people try to harm me, it kind of backfires and pushes me into a better situation. So yeah, I'm about to put this on. Keep it clean, good. Keep it fresh, good. And I accept, good. I'll keep it clean. I'll keep it fresh. I don't know what else to do. I don't want a co-host. I just want to stay solo. Peace. Islam, Islam, Islam. And now I have a voice recording, and that's for Brittany Najee on stereo. All right, in case something happens on YouTube, which it has happened before, which is why I was on Instagram in the first place. So now let us begin 5 minutes into the video. That's fine. It's all good because it created a better situation. So it's all good. So today, and I have my notes. So if you're on YouTube, if you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at my notes. So it's today, disclaimer. What I'm about to record was supposed to be recorded last night, but I ignored something that I had anticipated. So it's a day late. So this is for day 36 of the 77 days of elevation. But even though it's for day 36, today is day 37 of the 77 days of elevation. And happy holy day to all. I forgot to mention that. Happy holy day to all. So this is too bad. I'm on my Brittany Najee. Oh, I wonder if nope, I'm not going to even mess with it. This is on my Brittany Najee account. Too bad I didn't put it on Zahra Bay. That would have been perfect. Next time. So for day 36, which was yesterday, for the full moon that happened in Aquarius last night, the theme was, or is still, because we're still in Aquarius, so I'm gonna count this. The theme is consequences. All right. So again, opening, all praise due to Allah, honor to the forerunner Marcus Garvey, and most supreme honor to our prophet in these days, Noble Drew Ali. All right. I am Sister Zahra Bay, Islam. You can find all of my info at linktree/Califa Media. That's linktr.ee/Califa Media. Please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe for those on YouTube. Hey, those on who is this? Who is this? Stereo. I haven't used it in so long. All right. That's funny too, because I was like, I wish I had a backup voice recorder. I don't necessarily need the video. Bingo. All right, so announcements. It is day 36 of the 77. This was for yesterday. It's day 37 of the 77 days of elevation. Gratitude to those who are letting me know that they're participating, and gratitude to those who encourage myself and all of those who are participating. Because one sister, she's practicing Spanish, and it's absolutely beautiful how the Moors are. It's like she posts this, what I learned today. It's like, hey, that'll actually encourage people to like do it again, so keep up the good work. All right, Islam. Again, as usual, 7 connections, Moorish matchmaking for Moors who are seeking Moors, because consorting, building houses, putting those together, that's the first level of nation building. All right. So if you are a Moor seeking another Moor with the intent of obligation, hit up 7. That's the number 7, not the written out word. 7 connections, Moorish matchmaking on Instagram. I don't think they have a website right now, but you can hit them up and they'll help you fill out a profile. All right. Unity Peace Pipe Ceremony. I think they're getting ready to leave, but it is not too late to submit donations if you want to help them to fund their 13, depending on where they're coming from, because some of them are coming from Toronto, some of them coming from further away, 13 to 1,500 mile trip to New Brunswick to visit the Eel River Bar Nation, right? That's going to be fire, in my opinion, because when I'm just envisioning, okay, you thought these 4 members of your tribe, were blowing smoke, and here comes a caravan of people to congratulate them for realizing, rather than take the crumbs you're offered as an indigenous nation, you can have the whole pie and exclude people from your restaurant while you're at it. I'm just saying. So, if you like to be part of that and contribute to their efforts, donations are being accepted, and we're also selling t-shirts. So you can, if you make a donation, you get something, right? And you can, it's a pretty cool t-shirt. You can see it on Mercy Charities. That's MRCIcharities.org or CalifaMedia.com or CanaanLandMoors.com. And of course, please, as always, please donate to Mercy Charities to keep our coffers filled because we are doing great works. Please be sure to send me any announcements. Again, all of my contact information is on Linktree/Califa Media. Please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. All right, to the astrology, because I'm cool, 10 minutes. So I made up for that lost time because of the nonsense with whoever that was, right? Yeah. Anyway, so limited to the moon cycles. This is limited to the moon cycles because they can be applied generally. Because if you look at the description of the moon's behavior in a sign, Islam to AC the Moor. If you look at the moon's behavior in a sign, and then you learn all the signs, get good at them, right? Then you can be like, oh, well, Mars means blah, 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 and then just put it in that sign, right? I'm not going to go into it because I'm like so far behind because of some nonsense that happened under this full moon. Maybe I'll be willing to share that. I don't know yet. So this was a full/third quarter moon in Aquarius, all right? It occurred at 9:36 Eastern at 19 degrees 21 minutes of Aquarius, all right? So even though it already happened, full moons, you're going to be feeling the effect until the next new moon at the least. You might feel it even longer because it's a fixed sign, right? So check out where 19 degrees is. If any planets fall in 19 degrees anywhere in your chart, any planets, right? Especially the fixed sign planets, because it's either going to be conjunct, opposite, or squaring it. All right. So that's where challenges may show up. All right. And I wish I had taken my own advice yesterday. I wrote this up and then promptly did not take my own advice. All right. So you could check those degrees, 19 degrees. All right. Within an orb of 5 degrees, which puts you between 15 and 25 degrees. All right. Especially in the fixed signs, because this conjuncts Saturn is going to square the nose of fate. Actually, it's still going on because the moon is still in Aquarius as I'm speaking, right? So conjuncts Saturn. It just conjuncted. Did it? Hold on just a second. Because I have a astrological calendar. Moon conjunct. I don't see it. It's not showing up on there. Are you serious? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong day, of course. Oh, it conjuncted Saturn at 1:56 a.m. Let me cross this out. This is why I need to cross out these days every day. I'm looking at the wrong day. Excuse me. All right. So it conjuncted Saturn this morning. All right. But you can feel the effects as it's approaching, right? Like you could see a wave coming towards you. That's affecting you, ain't it? Even though it hasn't touched you yet. All right. So yeah. So it conjuncted Saturn, squared the nodes of fate, which are in Taurus and Scorpio. And Mars right now is conjuncting Uranus in Taurus, and both of those are conjuncting the North Node. All right. So the theme is consequences, and I will get into what all of this means. All right. So as usual, what is the moon? The moon is mind, emotions, reflection, home, privacy, nurturing, needs, security, mother's milk, nationality, mother's land. Rules the sign of Cancer and the fourth house, and it rules rapid changes, especially emotional. Domiciles in Cancer is in its detriment in Capricorn, exalted in Taurus, and falls in Scorpio. All right. So what is Aquarius? Aquarius rules the ankles. If you ever look at it, it's those jagged lines. That's kind of like what the ankle actually looks like. All right. It rules social placement. So remember Saturn rules Capricorn and Aquarius, right? So Aquarius rules social placement. Capricorn rules social prominence. All right. Which is why I'll get into that. Nope. It rules the audience, the self within the crowd. Especially the self within the crowd, innovation, ingenuity, coldness, especially emotional coldness, stubbornness, especially intellectual stubbornness, because it's a fixed sign, right? And it's an air sign, it's intellect. So it's stuck intellect. All right. Sudden shocks, unpredictability, rebellion, science, the visionary, new technology. When it becomes common, it becomes ruled by Gemini. Like, okay, once upon a time, Aquarius ruled smartphones, but now there's such a common means of communication. It's now ruled by Gemini, and that's what gets screwed up in that stuff that gets moved to Gemini. That's the stuff that gets screwed up in during Mercury retrograde. Just an FYI. Let's see. It rules humanitarianism, philanthropy, and the 11th house. It is the domicile of Saturn, which is currently in Aquarius, and it's also the domicile of Uranus in modern astrology. And it's the detriment of the sun because the sun is ruled by Leo. The opposite sign of Leo is Aquarius. So you're in exile or detriment if the sun is in exile or detriment in Aquarius. All right. Hence the coldness, right? Not a bad thing because it makes you very objective. Okay, so the full moon. What is a full moon? So full/third quarter moon, because that's what it really is. So the third quarter, this phase begins with the full moon. When the sun and moon are opposite each other in the sky, it's now that the moon can be seen rising in the east at sunset and a bit later each night as this phase progresses. This time corresponds to the culmination of plans and maturity. All right. What is the moon in Aquarius generally? The moon in Aquarius generally brings out the rebel in all of us. Yeah. It's a time when we're prone to extremes and abrupt actions. We're ready to break out of our ruts, to try something different, and to make sure everyone sees us for the unique individuals we are. This sign is ruled by Uranus, so personal freedom and individuality are more important than anything now. Boy, howdy. Our schedules become topsy-turvy. I'm a day late, and I'll get into why. Our schedules become Islam, Sarush. One of the trustees of Mercy Charities, madebysarush.com. Dang, I wish I had my mala on. I forgot about it. Anyway, our schedules become topsy-turvy. Our causes become urgent. Watch for a tendency to become fanatical, to act deliberately rebellious without a reason, or to break tradition just for the sake of breaking it. If this isn't exactly what occurred in my household, as this moon was crossing over it was about to exactly oppose my moon, my natal moon, right? As it was doing that right before the moon went full, we had a full blowout in my house. I'll get into that. All right. So the moon in Aquarius agriculturally, the moon in Aquarius is barren, dry, airy, and masculine. Use this time for cultivation and for destroying noxious growths, weeds, and pests. Destroy, if you remember that robot cop from The Simpsons. Anyway, all right. So, noxious growths. It's interesting that it says, let me read that again. It's okay. Used for cultivation, 77 days, hashtag 77 days, and for destroying noxious growths, weeds, and pests. All right. So the theme is consequences. Actually, I'm suffering a consequence right now if I think about it. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I'm not. I recorded a video when the moon went into Aquarius, speaking on all of these 20-somethings trying to teach 40-somethings, right? It really doesn't matter what you are. Unless you like 20-something and have a degree and you sit in a GED class full of 40-somethings, I'm going to let you know that's extremely offensive. I'm going to put it in perspective if you're in your 20s or something, because 20 is pretty young. You just got out of somebody my age's care. Think of it that way. All right. Or if you are a parent of a young child, they trying to tell you something that you know perfectly well, right? They probably got it from you. Califa Media has been out long enough where a lot of y'all 20-somethings probably got my books. Not my books, Califa Media books, because I don't write nothing. I just put it out. All right. Put out books because I'm gonna be specific, because some females claiming Moorish nationality look like they're on the stroll. All right. That's why I said I'm gonna be careful about using the word put out. All right. I would say that's what got me kicked off Instagram, but it didn't work. It didn't load up. Thank goodness I was on here. So I'm just like, boo hoo, 2 tears, right? So consequences. Maybe it couldn't have been a consequence because it didn't post. So disclaimer. This is great. I'm only 20 minutes in. I love my people. I feel the need to say this. Love is not a strong enough word, but it's, I'm just going to use it for the sake of this conversation. All right. Some may be burned or but hurt by the following commentary based on observation, before, during, and after careful study. I really don't have an opinion on stuff, right? Most of the stuff, oh, it's so funny. I'm telling you, I'm a hodgepodge. I read a lot and I listen even more than I read, right? You can tell a child who has benefited from adult conversation because they don't say that much. They're too busy listening, right? Then you got the daycare babies who desperate for adult attentions. So trying to be all up in adult faces, telling them what they learned around the time those adults, by the time around the time you were born. All right. It's really offensive. All right. So I just described my next topic, recent IG drama. All right. I'm gonna try to avoid saying names because it's not necessary. All right. But since I left myself these notes, I'm gonna read them. Because I'm of the opinion, when I read a book, I read the entire book. All right. The preface, the introduction, the note sections from the editor, all of that, because somebody took the time to write it. So I'm going to take the time to read it, since I appreciate how hard that is, because I read a lot and I edit a lot. So, I don't have much of an opinion. So there's a young fool currently being dragged by people who are expert at what she's talking about before she even was knowledgeable of it. It's really amazing. It really does blow my mind. You found a turban 2 years ago and you trying to talk to somebody who found it 20 years ago. That's unbelievable. Or even further back. That's unbelievable. But I mean, like I said, I ran a daycare as part of my college education, my good European education. And I see those children are around the age of these people. I'm hesitant to say adults, right? That are bucking up to everybody who has more to say about this topic than they do, based on their extensive study, research, vetting. What's that? Peer reviewing. All you doing is talking, which would be fine. Do you have anything to back it up? Not somebody else's stuff. Where's your stuff? Because you're talking about people who have books. They believe so much in what they do that they wrote it down and put it out. What differentiates someone with an opinion versus a teacher? A teacher usually has a book. Even elementary school teachers, they got attendance books. They're writing that. That counts. They're keeping records. What do you have? Again, and like I said, a young fool. This young fool, and it's funny, I'd even said she was smart to not have said nothing to me yet. And then she said something to me. I guess I called it on myself. So this young fool, when she said something to me, I was talking to somebody else. So she said something to me, I'm gonna respond. Let me take the opportunity. She said something to me, and I responded like, yeah. Oh no, she said, "Oh, y'all been you so proud to have been in this since 2008." Yes, I've been in this since 2008. All right. You so proud to have been in this since 2008. Almost 20 years in the game. That's whole talk. And y'all still ain't made no moves. We've made moves. You just can't see them because you're too busy running your mouth. All right. Not everybody needs an audience. Moon and Aquarius. Aquarius is the audience. And it's funny. This chick is a Leo. And it's really interesting. When I saw it, I'm like, that's really interesting. This is why astrology is important. This is why I was trying to hide out yesterday, but it didn't work. So you currently have Saturn in your 7th house. So you're getting ready to have karmic, difficult lessons with other people, right? One-on-one. And now the moon is getting ready to shine a light like that on that. It would have been better if this was a new moon, because that means you're about to start your journey. But no, this is a full moon. So you're about to collect on a whole bunch of stuff. You're about to learn apparently some much needed lessons, because I find it interesting. She started this journey with another chick. I haven't seen, maybe I'm just missing it. Nobody's saying nothing, saying boo to her. Maybe she just ducked out, was like, I don't need this smoke, right? But this chick, she getting hammered left, right, and center, and quite well. But anyway, I found it interesting that she said you've been 20 years in the game. So you see this. Thank you for letting me know You said, I didn't put this word in your mouth. I didn't even say nothing to you. All right. That this is a game. All right. Not all of us see it that way. And so I responded based on the video I saw of her exposing herself before the world in a turban. So your intention is to, save our nation one trick at a time, because that's what it looks like. That's what you're putting on display. Her response, you ain't got no man or no children. Please, please, Allah, tell me that this is not what this generation is equating with success. Other people, a man, I can't hand a man down to my children. I can hand my business down to them, though. I'm sure you got some of my books on your shelf. A man and children? Are you kidding me? Children, okay. I get the children. A man, not that it's any of your business, but I got a degree. I have a thriving business. The state ain't taking care of me. How about that? Can you say that? Actually, they are taking care. I have contracted with the entity that where I reside, where I domicile, where I get tribute. Because I spent 4 years out of college. I went to school to teach children. I actually did. I have a degree in elementary education. All right. And wound up, my first job was contract administration for one of the biggest commercial real estate companies in the country. And I was doing their property contracting. So I know what it means, what terminology when they're referring to people and when they're referring to property. All right. I can hand that down to my children. When I talk to my children about issues, I don't tell them, when this comes up, you do this, you do that, you do this. No, I tell them the situation and I sit back and let them tell me what to do. That's what I've handed them down. Not a man. Yes, that's how you could tell how young you are. That's supposed to be, I got a man. Really? I guess a couple other people got them too. But anyway, you had that. Enjoy. And then speaking of it, it's like, it was funny because I don't want to make this into a tirade and focus on people, but it's interesting. It's a perfect study in astrology. Your sun, your powerhouse, is being challenged by the planet of karma. And now there's a moon right there saying it's time for you to get some lessons. This is where astrology, but I was not exempt either. All right. And I'm going to go into that. All right. So Aquarius rules about rebellion, right? And all this started as the moon was approaching Aquarius, and it was extreme because it went past all this Saturn ruled stuff before it got to this moon. First, it went past Pluto in Capricorn, ruled by Saturn. So, actually, it was in Capricorn, ruled by Saturn. So it's already being influenced by that Saturn in Aquarius. It's already starting to act rebellious. And this is going to be going on for another couple of days, right? Not in my house, because I handled it. And I'll tell y'all how. It's a good story. I'm going to tell y'all how. All right, I'm about to finish up because I don't want to keep you too long. So, consequences, Aquarian rebellion, right? Youth push the envelope only to learn why what persists. Marriage is an example. Oh, we could just do the open thing. Free love, free love. And we always come back to marriage. Every generation tries the institutions. That's Aquarius. It really is. So Capricorn sets it up. Aquarius tests the strength and validity of it. Does it even make sense? And if it doesn't, they tear it down and replace it with something better. If they can't tear it down, it sticks. That's why it gets to continue on. It becomes, I want to say it becomes I'm going to say a practice. It could become a religion because the next sign is Pisces, where you have evolved into like more, esoteric, spiritual, ephemeral stuff. All right. So if it can make it past Aquarius, it's probably something rooted in something divine. Right. Anyway, so my son, I share with him this thing about this chick waving her cooch all up in the screen. I didn't show it to him because he's 15 years old, right? And I said she looked like she belonged in the harem. And his question, great question. This is why I talked to him. Where did the harem outfits come from? Oh my goodness. I had never thought of that. Is that why these chicks are dressing like this? Because they looking at the sex workers and thinking that's what Moorish women are supposed to look like. Okay, you can think of the harem as a private strip club, sis. That's what the women were wearing because the men wouldn't dare ask their women to put on some stuff like that because she owns everything, because everything passes through her. His job is to protect it. All right. And do all the, the willing and dealing, all that stuff. I'd rather be in the background handling the details. You go do the networking and all that. Like Khadijah, Muhammad and Khadijah, who had the bag and who was protecting it. That's not a bad thing. Women are really good at protecting, like managing resources. If you look at banks, who do you see behind the counter most of the time? When I was working as a contract administrator, my life, it was a hybrid. This position was a hybrid between accounting and law, the legal department. So the accounting department, I had to report to the accounting and the legal department, which is why I went to get my bookkeeping certification and my, paralegal education. I didn't get the certification so I can help my people. That's what I got to hand my children. Sorry, I don't have a man to give them, But anyway, it was just interesting. I don't know why I got on that. So the contract administration, I'll come back to it. Anyway, oh yeah. So when I was working there, they had me in the accounting department, even though I could have been in the legal department, but the accounting department was in Georgia and the legal department was in Chicago. I didn't want to come back to Chicago, so I went to Georgia. I am so glad I did, because that's where I found out about the Moors. Praise Allah. Dang, I didn't go home. I had to go all the way to Georgia to find out about the Moors. Anyway, so out of 100, I'll never forget it. Out of 101 people in the accounting department, only 2 were men. One was the vice president, right? And the other one, he was a brother who just he was not living up to his potential. He really wasn't. All right. So, and then of course the head honcho, the controller, was a woman. All right. And I'm going to throw in a little cultural reference looking at Johnny Depp and his version of the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. How the Oompa Loompas were, they were moving his heavy stuff, building, right? We need somewhere to live. We need somewhere to store the resources, right? Thank you. And then he went through the accounting department. It was nothing but female Oompa Loompas up in there, right? Because women, they gonna take care of that stuff. And then unfortunately, men usually have tons of people to take care of, so they tend to like embezzle. Women do it too, but they aren't, quickly suspected of doing. But anyway, the rebellion part, right? This chick waving her stuff, her worth in the camera, right? How would, again, I brought this up before, how would this play out in any other community, right? Can you imagine some Chinese chick putting on actually they do this, putting on a skin tight version of their traditional garb and waving her booty in the camera? Yeah, those the ones, they don't live in China. You do know that, right? And if they do, they're being held somewhere. You do know that, right? You know that nobody will ever marry these women because they don't want their children dealing with the stigma of, ha, 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 my dad said he saw your mother's everything. All right. Nobody wants to, are you familiar with sins of the father and mother being visited upon the children? This is why you don't, I'm not saying go along, just keep going along. Rebellion is a great thing because some stuff needs to stop. Like us being held in captivity. Yeah, that needed to stop, right? Not that our people actually rebelled, but whatever. Some folks had their freedom. They took it. Some waited for it to be given to them. I'm not willing to wait, right? So I put in here, how would any other community react? And it reminded me of how Cardi B, the first time I ever heard of this chick, and I found something about her. And I was like, dang, this chick is really charming. Then found out she was a Libra. But this was a really old interview. She was talking about how when her mother found out she was stripping, she threw her down a flight of stairs. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm sure her mother has like really, she's, been willing to overlook her behavior since then, right? But at least she came from standards. Your mother threw you down the stairs because she found out you were waving your butt in people's faces for clicks, likes, whatever. And she taught you, we don't do that here because you ain't going to be bringing that shame to my house. I really don't care what the other people think, but I don't want to deal with that nonsense because I am a social animal. I got to deal with that stuff. So, questioning the wisdom of elders, especially Moors and especially mothers, right? Failing to recognize that elder had time to consider what it is they continue to push. They claim the ones who are pushing falsehoods. They claim ones are pushing falsehoods while offering opinion to replace it. Well, I heard, did you know? Write it down. If you believe in it so much, show your dedication to your whatever it is, your opinion, and write it down. They got whole sections of newspapers dedicated to the opinion piece. The actual facts are in another section. All right, I'm just saying. So, my biggest question, who are you? Really? You're in your 20s. Can you even answer that question? As someone who has traversed the 20s, I can say now that I'm 20 years removed from that, more than that, actually. Now, I'm 20 years removed from my 20s. Not yet, not fully, because I'm not 49. But anyway, I'm far enough removed where I can safely say, based on observation and study and having gone through it and moved past it, in your 20s, you have no idea who you are. You haven't lived long enough outside of parental restriction, that Saturn, right? Actually, I guess that's the first Saturn, Capricorn. It's your parents, because it actually rules your father. And then the second Saturn is you get to rebel and go do your own thing, right? It's going to take some time, right? If you leave your home at 18, 20, whatever, you are just now starting to figure out who you are, sans the influence of your authority figures, right? That's not going to happen at 18. It's not like some switches flipped. Hopefully you don't know how to be an adult, because that means you grew up too fast. All right. So no, who are you? Just not only you can't even answer that for yourself, I guarantee it, right? But show me who you are. If you think you are, if you're someone, show everyone. If you want to have an opinion, show everyone that you deserve. Not even have an opinion. If you're worthy of consideration, show everybody that. Instead of bad mouthing people who've actually produced something more than just yap, 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 do better. You do better. Put out something better, right? What was it? I couldn't find. Oh, I don't know. I'm not going to necessarily say it's better. I couldn't find a hardcover Quran because I'm like, dang, the only one that got them is the Nuwapians, and they're not producing anything anymore. Wait a minute. Instead of getting on here complaining and bad mouthing Nuwapians, why y'all ain't putting out his books no more? Shame, shame, shame. I produced a hardcover Quran. It's, it was a way more effective use of my time than, talking mess about people who have done way more than I did. They did way more before I was born than I've done, period, except collect followers. And it's like, y'all, this really it's mind-boggling. Do you have a man? What is that going to do for the 7 generations later? You only got 10,000 followers. What is that going to do for my children? For real. All right. The power went out. Now what I got? All right. Anyway, for real, who are you? And then the fact that y'all think you can talk the way you talk to the rebellion part. I guess this is the old person in me coming out, right? But I've earned it, right? There's an old saying, because I grew up around a lot of Southerners. The way you treat adults as a child is the way you can demand children treat you when you become an adult. I was an extremely respectful child, right? But I grew up around people who didn't mind smacking you. They would backhand you and keep on going, right? It never happened to me. I saw it happen to enough people, because I wasn't running my mouth all the time. And I don't know if that might have had something to do with it. But, you sit back, you learn a lot more from looking than talking, right? So generational conflict. And here's back to the astrology. It's 40 minutes. I'm about to wrap this up. So this is a generation. It seems to be a generational conflict because of the whole Saturn stuff involved, right? So it seems to be between those beloved destined for power. Those beloved destined for power. So the power comes from, so that comes from the sun conjuncting Venus in Leo, right? So power, sun, beloved, Leo. And they're both in power, sun, beloved, Venus, and they're both in Leo, right? And both of these, the sun and Venus in Leo, are squaring the node of fate, the north node, in Taurus, being conjuncted by Mars and Uranus. So it's a conflict between those beloved destined for power and those who feel powerless, right? Because the moon is conjuncting Saturn in Aquarius. As somebody who has the moon conjunct Saturn natally, I know what that means. You feel powerless, right? But mine is in Leo. So it actually, mine is a benefit, right? Because a moon in Leo woman is, you ever heard that she is outrageous, restrain her? I'm telling you, that was about a moon in Leo woman. All right. So it actually, it's a benefit to me because it tones me way down. I would be just obnoxious if I didn't have that there. But you're talking about the sign of rebellion. It has its rings up in there with it. It's trying to break free, and it's got the sun opposing it. Like, you ain't going nowhere. You're really not going anywhere, right? Because I'm destined to do this. The challenge is for me. The north node, I'm squaring the north node, right? And the north node is also squaring them too. I'm not going to get into it because it goes deep. Maybe I'll do a separate talk about that in detail because it goes way too deep and I'm already 40 minutes in. So to wrap up, if you've had ankle biters snipping around your shop, your congratulations, whatever you're doing. If you've had youth, people that you know, it's like you look at them like that, congratulations, right? You've been vetted because they wouldn't be bothering you if you weren't doing something that they're bothered by, right? So the moon in Aquarius is shining a spotlight directly on the king or the sun in Leo sitting with Venus. All right. So what is sun conjunct Venus generally? Sun conjunct Venus is the personification of love, peace, and beauty. You are an affectionate and refined person with a rich social life who loves entertaining and amusements. We love clowning, right? You are a lover, not a fighter, and dislike threatening or ugly people and environments. That's the definition of moon and Venus. And that's from astrologyking.com/sun conjunct Venus, because I give my sources. Oh, and all the other stuff was from the Llewellyn 2022 astrological calendar. All right. So the tarot for this lunation, and we're going to wrap this up. The tarot for this lunation is the Seven of Swords. All right. So the tradition, it really is. The Seven of Swords rules moon in or indicates moon in Aquarius, right? So consequences. And I'm gonna read you the description of it too. I'm using cards from the Before Tarot. Why is this backwards? I guess it looks better later. The Universal Waite Tarot, which is the traditional deck, and the After Tarot. All right. And I'll link these all in the comment section. So before the Seven of Swords, I'm just going to show them to you. All right. Actually, I'm going to show them to you and read them as I go along because it'll make more sense if I show it to you while I read it. All right. So Seven of Swords is called To Catch a Thief. All right. I'm going to read quickly. That's the first one. Okay. I'm going to try to hold it still. So the Seven of Swords exposes a thief in the night and cautions us to be on the lookout for tricksters and knaves, right? The key symbols: a red-capped grinning man. Can y'all see that? All right. A red-capped grinning man helps himself to swords that have been left outside in an encampment of colorful tents. If you look at it, it kind of looks like a fez to me. Why is this so blurry? Maybe if I get out the way. Yeah, I need a better camera. It looks like a fez. All right. And it'll be on the thumbnail. You'll be able to see him clearly. But anyway, a red-capped man, right, helps himself to swords that have been left outside, an encampment of colorful tents. Flags and banners, telling you flags and banners are not the same thing. Flags and banners blow in the breeze under a cloudless sky. In the distance, and that's right here, they're talking about right there. In the distance, men are gathered around a smoky campfire. Looks like they're in council. They busy building, right? And you got some knave back here trying to steal their swords rule intellect. Not working for their own, just stealing from folks. All right. So I'm gonna finish reading it. So, like the proverbial thief in the night, he has stolen into the enemy's camp to make off with their weapons. And that's the traditional one, right? Little does he know, he's walked right into their trap. I'm reading from Foresight. This is not me making this up. He's walked right into their trap. All right. So the Seven of Swords clearly points out that someone needs to be on guard. Theft, deception, and subterfuge are afoot. Agents are about, right? Because all of a sudden, a bunch of people who prima facie don't know what they're talking about. It's just like you can't possibly, and where did y'all come from? It seems like you were sent. Anyway, so you need to be on guard. The thief pictured in the card could be a traitor or a counter spy. It's in more practical terms, the thief could be a backstabbing gossip. Swords are about communication, after all. The tents represent protection from the elements as well as a place for strategic battle planning. The banners flying over the tents symbolize a rallying point for the troops. Historically, the Seven of Swords was a good card. Fortune tellers said it suggested a peaceful life in the country. Reverse, it heralded a news release or public announcement. Traditionally, the Seven of Swords was known as the cord of unstable effort. So, yeah. All right. So they're taking and claiming things in the realm of intellect that they don't have. That's the funny part. You're talking about, it's like y'all just stay talking about that which you know not. You're just committed to your ignorance. It's amazing, right? And people who you probably have their books on your shelf if you didn't burn them because they told you about yourself. But you're trying to tell them something. It's offensive. But I guess it's one of those things you'll learn it when you get to that age, right? I didn't have to learn it because I just respected my elders. And I looked forward to being one of those people who could demand respect. So you can be respectful or don't be around us. Just don't come in our space. It's really that simple, right? And if we come in yours, it's because you lying on us. All right. That's the only reason. It's not like you personally are worth the effort, right? So please check thyself or life will teach thyself. All right. Respect the respectable. And I think I read this one last week. It encourages the already striving, inspires the ones seeking direction. There's so much value in observation. You can skip certain lessons in life if you shut up and just listen. Shut your mouth, open your ears, right? And it's based on experience. You ever heard that stuff where they say, oh God, I sound just like my mother. You got to wonder why what persists. But again, you ain't there yet, obviously, or you really wouldn't be doing this, right? So let's see. Do I have any time? I guess I'll make some time. I'll keep it short. So the way this moon affected me, so it was at 19 degrees of Aquarius. My moon is at 18 degrees of Leo. So this full moon at its totality directly opposed my moon, and it opposed my Saturn. So it was my moon and Saturn opposed the transiting moon and Saturn. All right. And I'm like, well, Aquarius rules my fifth house. So this is about to be a culmination of some difficulty I'm having with one of my children. Let's see. One is in college. One is in Georgia. One is 6. Uh-oh. It's going to be the one that's been bucking up to me for the last few days. My 15-year-old son. Right. So he been talking back to me lately. And I don't know if you know about Libras. I'm a Libra rising. They have this thing, I don't want to call it a detriment or whatever, where they don't nag. They will just wait until it gets bad enough and then they turn into an Aries. All right. It really does. I really think that Libra probably is the most violent sign of the zodiac, right? Just because when they get mad, they can attack the other. Their seventh house is ruled by Aries, but it can go other way too. But anyway, so I said something. I was listening to something on some headphones. I'm like, I've been dealing with dummies all day. And he thought, he started yelling at me. And I'm like, well, first of all, I wasn't talking to you. And second of all, that's it. I've had it and I blew up, right? And I got in his face, right? And he raised his fist to me. Okay, you need to take a walk. No, I ain't going nowhere. Oh, really? Let me fake call the police on you because I don't have a man in my house right now, right? He's in Georgia. He's not my man, but it's a man that I can call upon. He's in Georgia right now. But anyway, so I put him out the house. He's 15. I'm not going to render him homeless. Even though the man in Georgia that I just mentioned, he bucked up to his mom and she rendered him homeless at 13. I don't know what happened. That seems a little extreme to me, but I'm just like, well, she's a teeny tiny lady and you're a big, you're not that big, but you're bigger than her. Right? So what else could she didn't have a husband, right? I'm not sure of the details. I only got his side of it, but I'm just like, dang, 13, huh? So anyway, I put him outside. It's lovely. It wasn't raining or nothing, right? He starts freaking out because his phone dies. Oh, my charger. Wow. And I'm just like, wow. Give me my charger. I ain't giving you nothing. That's my charger. I paid for it, right? You need to renew my phone bill. I ain't renewing nothing. It's my phone bill. Let me in my house. It's my house. Your name isn't even on the lease. It just says that there's 2 other people living with me right now. Your name ain't nowhere on the lease. So he goes and walks off. And there's so much to do around my house. We got malls. The Y is right there. It's like we got so much to do right around here. And I wasn't worried. It's a really safe play. Even though, whatever. And he came back. He looked so shamed. I'm like, yeah. So what did you learn? You don't have to say. You don't have to say because I already know, right? You learned where your power is. It's with your mommy, right? Do you really want to be bucking up to the person who can take from you or not even take, just deprive you? Just stop giving. That's it. Just put some rings around themselves and let's see if you can get through. What you about to do, right? So that was the youth. And then it's funny because his moon is in Leo too, conjunct Saturn. You got to love astrology. I mean, like I said, I should have just I was trying to go upstairs and hide out in my room when it started. There is no escape, I guess. I don't know. Hey, that might be a good thing, right? Learn how to surf. And on that note, I'm done. Thank you all for being up in here. I appreciate that. I'll be back, I guess, tomorrow. I'll try to be back tomorrow when the moon is in Pisces and we've moved out of this energy. So happy holy day to all. Y'all enjoy this day. You know, it's summer in Morocco. We need to start doing that. Making this common vernacular. It's summer in Morocco. Go enjoy the weather. You know, hopefully they're not spraying. And yeah, y'all be cool. And I'll see you when the moon is in Pisces. All right. Islam and bye-bye.